Hello, good morning. Welcome into another episode of Good Morning Nasdaq. It is a beautiful day here in Michigan. It is the 8th day of November, year of our Lord 2024. We have people filtering in by the minute. Welcome in, welcome in. Let us know in the live chat. How's your week going? How's your Friday? What are you doing this weekend? You watching some football? You going to the orchard? I don't know what you're doing, what people do. You going hunting? Let us know over in the live chat. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Do that quick check right now. It is free to subscribe, and you get access to all of our free content. And make sure you hit that thumbs up button as well. We do like to get towards 50, if at all possible. I still got some pneumonia, so apologize for all the coughing that I will do if I talk too long in a row. We got Mr. Huddie here with me today. He is back. I don't know if he's back or not, but he is here. He's mobile. He's got a new laptop, so let's be patient with him on what information he can provide for us this morning. But how we doing, Huddy?
We're good. We're good. I'm having a great week. I liked everything about this week in November and kind of started off with a bang. So I'm enjoying it.
There we go. He's enjoying it. I hope you're enjoying it. On Good Morning Nasdaq, we like to talk about the biggest gappers of the day. We've had some good gappers throughout the week, some squeezers, some low price stuff running. We've had some stuff squeeze out and fail hard. Been a little bit of something for everyone, but right here in Good Morning Nasdaq, we're going to talk about the biggest movers of the morning here in pre-market, talk about their news, their catalyst, a little bit about their share structure and dilution, as well as talk about their daily charts. And if we have any biases, and if not, we will just talk about what we think about them, and if we don't want to trade them, why. How's that sound, Huddy?
That sounds fantabulous.
How's that sound from you guys? Let me know. Gerald says, Buenos dias, mis amigos. ¿Cómo estás hoy? You're cultured. What does that mean, Huddy?
It says, what's up, friend? How are you doing today?
What's good? Gucho. Right?
No.
Close?
No.
What's good?
Not even a word, actually.
Are you sure?
Yep.
You're really sure?
It's like you combined good and nacho into gucho.
Ooh, I'm hungry now.
Yeah, it does sound good. Good nachos.
What's good?
Bueno.
Piano. Oh, I was close. Gucho. All right, everybody, let's get right into it. Biggest gapper of the day. Why is my stuff not working? Hello. Biggest gap of the day that I'm seeing is NCL. Northan. 2 N's on the end. Make sure you hit that second N. Furnishings, fixtures, and appliances. 14.55 million float. We'll talk about the chart here in a minute, but it is looking like it's another low price gap of the day. We had Foxo a few days ago, which ripped faces off up towards $1. We had WBuy and NHMMHI, some other one yesterday. We have a little history here, a little trend, if you will, of lower price stocks gapping up big. This one around, let me see if it ran yesterday after hours. From the 20-cent area all the way up towards 60 this morning. We'll see. We'll talk about it in full detail here. They specialize in 3D printed flooring solutions under its flagship brand, Benchwick. So that's pretty dope. Benchwick. I don't see any news. Do you see any news? Do you have the ability to look for news?
I have the ability to look at Yahoo Finance.
They're cash flow positive on a based on quarterly operating cash of 0.09 million. What is that, 90,000?
900K.
09 million?
Oh, 09 would be maybe 90K.
And they don't have any really thing going on dilution-wise.
You said NCL?
Yeah, Northan.
Why? I type it in and it's like trying to send me to Norwegian Cruise Lines. Stop that.
Is that where you want to go?
I would.
Let's go on a cruise. Well, I'm not allowed to, but.
Okay, so we got 137% gapper. Did you already say that?
Yep.
And did you tell them that the news was that they reported strong first quarter financials 5 months ago?
They just released that now?
No, 5 months ago.
That was the latest news you have?
Yeah.
Yeah, the latest news I have is 3 months ago that they are relocating to South Carolina.
Oh,
I have it as an Amex as well,
do you?
which usually we're
I see a
usually wrong
12.
about that.
I see a 12 million float and a lot of insider holdings. Um, what did you say?
I didn't say anything.
You said you see okay, never mind.
Let's take a look at the chart.
A little 53-cent ticker.
Well, 53, not something we haven't seen this week. Looks like it's was somewhat pumpy in the past. It started off as an IPO running very pump looking from 4 to 22 before all in one day going from 22 down to 5. Did the same thing from the $5 area to 18 and dumped in one day. So definitely some history of shenanigans going on here. And ever since then, really hasn't had too much activity. It's had some okay volume days, but those aren't on super volatile price action days. They're just kind of higher volume days up until you get to this point here where the stock is at its lows near the 15-cent area and is popping yesterday and after hours into today up towards 60 cents from the 20-cent area. Anything you take note of when you see that pumpy price action from a while ago, and then no real regular price action until today?
Yeah, so I don't have a chart in front of me. I still have to get those things, but the underwriter I see here is Prime Number Capital. I think that one sticks out in my brain as one of those underwriters that is involved in a lot of these pumpy situations that are, kind of liquidation plays. Again, I don't have a chart, but if you're saying that it's there, I believe that it's there. And honestly, Webull had that aspect to it, or not Webull, WeBuy had that aspect to it yesterday, I believe.
Yeah, I did.
So, 53-cent ticker. I do see exchanges, Amex. Let's just kind of that's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
What we've seen this week, pretty much from this, maybe there's a world where like cheaper tickers are being bought up because we've seen quite a few of them this week alone. I don't know if that's going to be a trend like moving forward, but Foxo kind of like maybe set the bar high with these cheap tickers. So maybe, traders kind of flocked to WBuy, which got some momentum, but an absolute pump and dump type of ticker and failed throughout the whole day. And you can see in the history that it has huge failure. I want to put NCL in the same boat as WeBuy, where I get like these pumpy vibes. If you're saying the chart has what it has, and it's a stupid little 20-cent stock that's being pumped up, then I think that there is probably something bad going on here.
Yeah, not a lot of information on the dilution tracker. No real news. Lowish float, cheap
Definitely an
price.
Amex.
Yeah. Reason it's running is probably just more than anything that it fits into the theme of being lower priced. We saw it with WBuy yesterday. Very similar type of daily chart with similar price action going back further, where you have that walk up and then slam down in a day or two, back down to where it came from. Decent volume already this morning, lower than where Foxo and WBuy were, up at around 60 mil right now. Those were definitely, when we did Good Morning Nasdaq, up over 120, 150 mil. So a little bit lighter volume right now, up 142%. I kind of think as the trend continues, we should expect to see it work less and less. You kind of saw day one with Foxo, right? We run all day, squeeze out at the end of the day, and then give it all back. And it'll give like 50, 60% of it back in after hours into the next day. You saw it with WBUI, did a very nice morning spike, squeezed out for a while, couldn't hold on, and ended up giving back its gains even quicker than Foxo did. Does that mean, as the trend continues, we get weaker and weaker spikes and we get quicker and quicker pullbacks? Possible. You do expect, once everyone kind of figures out the trend, that if everyone's on the same side, it's a lot harder for it to go up if you have less people trying to step in front of it and get squeezed out. So I think more than anything, I'd be bearish on this entire daily chart, and just in general that this is the most recent, this is the third, fourth, fifth example of the low price stock running. And I get less and less bullish as we go on. Same with sympathies. When we talk about a specific sector, the first few are usually the best, and then the next round you get significant moves, and then as you continue going, it becomes less and less interesting because once everyone's kind of figured out the trend, the market is not made so everyone makes money and it's easy and obvious, and eventually that is the trap that leads to them not running that hard or that far. So NCL, I'm not sure if I will trade it, but Pretty bearish. I guess up 135%, up in the 50-cent area right now. Volume isn't life changing. This doesn't feel like the one that is going to do a billion or over 500 million today. But maybe one to let it see how strong it is out of the gate. And then maybe attack once it either looks weak or has squeezed out. That kind of your plan, Steve?
Are we talking about NCL?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have much of a volume analysis here because we've seen so many tickers. Like, I've seen more tickers trade so much volume in the morning that it can no longer hold the levels, and it becomes like they become really nice all day faders once they like kind of spike and get everyone involved and everyone watching and everyone's in at 8 a.m. and it's like the moves happen too soon, the volume's in too soon, and it starts to break down from there. Those get really ugly. It wasn't Foxo, like that was the one that it didn't really happen to, but it was W buy, and it was a couple other ones we've seen from the previous weeks where it's just like too many people get too excited about a ticker too early in the morning because it has some volume, and that all that volume turns into like bag holders. So I don't really have much of a volume analysis. I probably don't really want to trade this at all. I think there's much better structured charts out there for people to hang their hat on. And again, like anything that's gapping up this big, I'm naturally short biased towards. I don't think there's a huge success rate with these. I mean, Foxo worked well, but that's W buy had a spike for an hour and a half. So it depends on what your strategies here are. But I think generally these are pretty 50-50 whether they go up or down at the market open, and then whether they stay down or stay up. Like I think those are a whole other set of odds that favor the down than the up.
That favor the downs over the ups. That is NCL Northan. Let's take a look at the scanner. That's pretty much our biggest gapper of the day. That's the only thing up over 70%. Up 128% right now. Northan is. Got a couple 65, 66, 68%. We can go to, let me see which charts look like we want to talk about. There's TIVC and DEVS. That one looks weird. We'll do TIVC.
You've traded this one before.
Have we?
I have.
Let's take a look at it.
I think it ramrodded me at one point.
Tivic Health Systems, 6.16 million flow out of the United States in the medical device industry. They operate as a bioelectronic device company that delivers non-invasive neuromodulation products for the treatment of inflammatory conditions. Obviously.
I think your vocab is getting much better, by the way, ever since you started Good Morning Nasdaq.
The what?
Your vocab.
Is it?
Pronouncing some big words.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
One day ago, they told us that they're going to report their third quarter financial results on the 14th of November, so right around gun season.
That's a season?
Yeah, for deers. That's
what
I think of when I think of November 14th. But it's a day early. But so this isn't really news. This is just them letting us know what they're going to do, their plans. Everything is high across the board here. Overall risk offering ability, cash need. They have 3.1 months of cash. They have an in-progress offering from August 2024 for $12 million.
That's not good.
They have some price stuff. Some warrants at 85 cents, which is a little higher than where we are. They have September 2024 ATM with $783,000 left on it. And that's what I see here on TIVC. Once we take a look at the daily chart, we'll probably have less interest than right now. You seeing daily charts yet or no?
No.
No, you said. No, he says. For me here, we talked a lot about this in the webinar yesterday about overhead resistance and how it plays its role. But TIVC, I think, Huddie is recalling that we played it. We saw it over the past couple months, and in July, the stock ran from 30 cents all the way as high as 94 cents over a couple of weird days of price action. But it did do significant volume in that stretch. And when the stock fades down to the 20-cent area, you got to imagine there's some bag holders in that range, maybe from the 50-cent to the 72-cent area. Kind of that's the bulk of where it is. We've topped out at 60 right now before failing quite hard down into the 40s. In general, we'd probably be bearish on these cheap stocks gapping up big with bad risk overall and not really a great catalyst. But when you have that extra resistance overhead, you got to imagine there's some bag holders that are going to slow down this move and make it very difficult for this stock to just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. And that's kind of my initial is, I don't think it's up that much, 72%. It's not great when it comes to shorting a stock like that. You're going to have to pay fees, commissions, borrows, and is there enough meat on the bone to make significant money? That's up to you to decide. But if we were to spike into some of these resistance areas, maybe that opportunity does get better. Absolutely not bullish whatsoever on day ones into resistance like this, but do open my eyes up to maybe being bearish on them and actually trading them if the situation sets up right.
Sure. Yeah. There's warrants at 85 cents, which is kind of pegged to where that last run topped out at. So they don't think it's really. I think if there is a price target to the long side, I think that's probably where they want to get the stock. But as you said, probably pretty hard to get there. I smell offering coming on this one, just based off those that dilution tracker portfolio or profile. So obviously buyer beware. I think A, there's a small world that it gets to where those warrants are, and then B, I think there's a bigger world that an offering comes out. The ticker looks like a dog. You had like a big day in May, if you're looking back on the chart, where it had like a gapping crap result, and then the next day it gapped down like what, 50%, maybe even more, to 60 cents, and then faded much lower. Had some kind of pump run that priced in some offering and put out an S1 that's ready to go, and has since faded off. And now they're having this like random spike up in the day. So I don't know. They've been dogs in the past. It looks like a dog chart. I think they're going to dog everyone. But I don't know how to say for sure.
What kind of dog?
A Rottweiler.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Roddy.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, Joel says the stats on shorting sub $1 stocks since October haven't been that great. Sellers beware. That's usually the type of thing you notice right when they start to work again.
Can we say that one more time?
What did it say?
Yeah, read that statement to me, the comment.
The stats on shorting sub $1 stocks since October haven't been that great. Sellers beware.
I disagree. I disagree with the statement in general, because it's fine to have that subjective view, but understand that is a subjective view. It is that person's opinion, right? Because people can have strategies that are way different than this person's strategy that does make shorting under $1 tickers successful. I mean, it's like, what are your parameters versus what is someone else's parameter? What if someone likes to short these things and hold for 5 days? I'm not saying that anyone does that. I'm not saying that I do that, but I'm just saying if someone shorts a sub $1 ticker and holds for 5 days and that's their strategy, do you think that they are unprofitable? I don't know the answer. And I don't think this person knows the answer too. So it's very subjective to say things aren't working or your strategy for sub $1 tickers is not working. But just saying something isn't working, it doesn't really make sense to me, because there's so many ways to make something work. That's why we have strategies. It's not like everyone's doing the same thing with all these tickers, right? Everyone has a different way of buying a breakout. Everyone has a different way of shorting a first red day. Everyone has a different way of, playing gapping craps. Some people hold for a lot longer than you think. Some people add. Some people use super wide risk. Some people don't get in until after the squeeze has come and gone. So I would say there have been some squeezers. Yeah. I would say that I'm overall profitable on sub $1 tickers with my strategy since October. So I just want to give some fruit to that comment.
You're adding fruit to it?
Just adding some context.
Wonderful, wonderful. Make sure you hit that like button. We're only 8 away from 50. We got Huddie back. That deserves at least 3 to 4 likes. So let's get that number up to 50. We'll answer a question or two and get on out of here. A lot of Spanish in the room today. We'll allow it. Some Guchos.
Where my hombre's at?
My hombre, is that males?
Yeah.
Jenica says, did you trade Foxo for an afternoon breakout by Tim Grittani on day one at Dom? No, because I don't trade afternoon breakouts. I trade multi-day breakouts, multi-month, multi-week. I don't even know if Grittani trades afternoon breakouts anymore.
He does, and it's so annoying to hear him. But I think he has things that I don't have. I think he has like some secret indicators that I don't have. Like I think volume is a huge presence when it comes to afternoon breakouts, that like you can have too much volume or too little volume, and I don't know those stats. You can have overhead resistance. That's problematic. I know that he still trades it from time to time, but I know that me and Dom definitely don't trade it, because I can't tell you how many times I bought a high a day break and the stock absolutely craps on me and goes to new low of day, like from that entry, and it's just like probably one of the worst feelings that you could find in the market.
I never liked the strategy. I see it work, but when it's always it's one of those things where you see it work and you're like, wow, that was too easy. But then you do it yourself for like 5 in a row and you're like, how come my entry is always near the top? It's a wick, and then I have to sit in it all day and it closes 10 cents below my average, and now I got to swing it overnight uncomfortable. Not for me. I like to have a good average with good risk reward, and it's almost impossible to do that on afternoon high day breaks. Especially, I don't like to buy day ones. And Foxo afternoon high break happened like after it had already gone 100% from the morning, so I already am bearish on most of the day one gappers. I don't get more bullish when it's up 100% past the open.
I think the only way you can really buy that one is like if you literally have to make up a story in your head that says, okay, Donald Trump won the election, we're in a bull market, so anything that's gapping up is going to run. You have to literally make up that story because it's unproven. You don't have any data. You don't really know for sure if Fox is going to run, and then once it starts to run, you think you're a genius. And then you do it on the next one, and then on the next one, and the next one, and then you have results. And I think for the most part, most traders that are buying high of day breaks are going to have some icky results, unless you have like some really strong data and a strategy, right? That really like has good cuts when you know that the writings on the wall are pretty iffy, and can let the winners ride when they're working. I don't have that strategy.
You don't have the strategy.
I don't have it.
Any
I used to
thoughts
have it.
on DJT? I'm going to answer this one as quick as possible. No.
What are your thoughts?
No thoughts. Any thoughts? I don't have any thoughts. I will not
It's
pull it
pretty
up once
simple.
today.
It's pretty simple. It's a sell the news situation. And the news has been selling off. And now you don't have a clean
What
chart.
pattern are we at? Where are we at in the pattern?
Well, yeah, now you don't have a clean chart. I think all of the most predictable moments of DJT, and really the times you probably wanted to be playing it, have come and gone. I think October was a great month for it to be long biased. Probably into November was a great time to be short biased. And now moving forward is probably a good time to be short biased, although I don't think you really have any more chart pattern to really consider this a setup. So that's probably the biggest issue, or like the big red thumb in the room. That's like whether you're long or short biased now, there's no pattern. Whereas all of October, there was like 4 or 5 breakouts. There were a couple first green days. All of November, there were a couple different types of first red days. And now you're kind of in the middle of the chart with no forward-looking catalyst, and maybe diminishing volume, and no real structure from down here. So you missed a lot of opportunity if you're still looking for a trade on it, I think.
Last question or two, and we'll get out of here real quick. Huddie, do you ever short pre-market on Gap and Craps, or do you wait for the open?
I never short pre-market.
Ever.
So
many people want to play stocks pre-market. I don't understand.
They can if they want to.
They can, but it sounds so not fun.
It's you're probably in a stage of trading where you get to market open and you have all these plans for the day, and then you see all the action in the pre-market and you just want to start pushing buttons before like your plan really comes to fruition. I remember being in that stage, where like can't really control your habits, can't really control like your discipline pretty much to like wait for the stock to come to you, and you just want to like get in at any cost. I will say that like that type of trading, like unless you have a predefined like pre-market strategy, and that's a totally different concept. But like most strategies that I know are based off price action, are based off volume, are based off of reading the chart, right? And you can't really do that in the pre-market, because the pre-market, usually the volume is a lot less than what's going to happen in the real market hours. So I found that like a lot of times a whole day would get away from me because I started shorting too early in the pre-market or buying, and end up with like a fat loss because of that bad behavior or choppy results, or just like mental debilitation. So that market opening comes and I can't execute, and I either balloon the loss bigger or get back to break even. And it's like I just wasted my day in the first 15 minutes of my eyes being open. And that is, I think, a very stupid place to be as a trader. Like if you're like walking the computer and starting to push buttons in anticipation of something being, I guess, an edge in the pre-market, like I think that there's very little merit to doing that unless you have a pre-market strategy. I think more pre-market is like, let's get some nailed down criteria to formulate theses for a market open. Like you can get some support and resistance levels. You can get some like volume forecasts if you really need. You understand like what's moving, what's the data, what's the press release. Like it's more, for me, it's more of a time to gather information and then again let the market hours prove to me that the thesis is going to play out.
Yes, I would agree, Jimbo. Well, that is the hour. Went over a little bit, but probably started a little bit late. Thank you guys for being here this morning. It is Friday, so have yourselves a wonderful trading day. Have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We'll be back at it Monday morning, 8:45 a.m. You know where, right here on the Clover Trading YouTube channel. If you want to hang out with us the rest of the day, you know where to go as well. Clovertrading.io. Get yourself involved in 3 or 4 leaf. Get access to all of our webinars, video lessons, watch lists, trade alerts, all that good stuff. If not, we'll see you here for the free content Monday and all of next week. And I hope you guys have a phenomenal day and a phenomenal weekend. And we will see you in the next one.